Hello and welcome to your Simplified Coin Review. Today we're going to be talking about Eternity. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can enter our contest. I'll put the details above. We're giving away the equivalent of $100 in Ethereum on Monday. Contest runs through Sunday. The requirements are right above. So make sure you enter that contest and so you have a chance to win. So let's dive into coinmarketcap.com and look at Eternity. Right now, it is coming in at rank number 27. It is a token, so it is on the Ethereum blockchain. It's an ERC20 token, which means that it is built on the Ethereum blockchain. So right now, it's coming in at $3.81. It's at 46,000 Satoshis. The market cap is $888 million. The circulating supply is 233 million aeons. That's what they call the native token to the platform. The total supply is 273 million aeons. So if you look at the chart, you'll see it debuted last year, and of course, it followed the predictable crash as they all do. So we'll zoom into January and look since January. But interestingly enough, even though it crashed in January, it recovered pretty quickly, and it's actually up from where it was in January, which is very rare. The volume, as you can see, has really picked up, and that has really caused it to charge through the top 100. So let's head on over to the website. They have a beautiful website. I really like it. It's got a lot of information on it. So as you can see here, just by looking immediately, they have their applications. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to pronounce this. Just for simplicity's sakes, I'm just going to call them applications, but they have this habit of adding AE to the beginning of everything. So instead of decentralized apps, also known as DApps, they call them aepps, so aepps. I think that's how you're supposed to say it, but I'm going to call it apps and applications. So it wants to be a platform where you build decentralized apps on. There's a lot more to it than that, but that is the general idea. So Eternity is a new blockchain technology designed to deliver unmatched efficiency, transparent governance, and global scalability. Enlightening smart contracts on a global scale. So why is Eternity so innovative? So they have what are called state channels. So state channels make it possible to execute smart contracts off-chain only in case of a disagreement between the contracting parties. Does the smart contract code get enforced by the blockchain? So what do they use for their consensus? Consensus is achieved via a novel hybrid proof of work and proof of stake algorithm. We looked at that same kind of algorithm with Decred. It's a hybrid of proof of work and proof of stake. They have unique governance. Eternity is governed by its stakeholders, meaning that miners, token holders, and others with a stake in the blockchain have the ability to make decisions together on proposed changes. So also similar to Decred, what we saw in that. That's going to become critical to my overall review on this token. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. So oracles. We talked about oracles. Oracles are like translators. They communicate with off-chain and on-chain information. So an oracle connects real-world data with smart contracts. Eternity has oracles on the blockchain as truly first-class objects. So they put an emphasis on privacy, security, and low cost. So you can check out the white paper. We'll look at that here, actually. So the white paper, as you can see, the Eternity blockchain is the trustless, decentralized, and purely functional Oracle machine. So it has their founder right there, Yanislav Malahov, I guess is how you say that. I'm not from where he's from, so that may have been a butchered pronunciation. But the white paper is pretty good. There is a lot of information on it. As always with these, it gets a little over my head with the coding aspects of it. If you do know about coding and it makes sense to you, then good for you. That's not something that probably is ever going to make sense to the majority of investors. So one thing I really like in this white paper that they do that's unique to a lot of others I've seen is they have a glossary on the end. So you can go to page 9. It's a pretty short read. There's only 10 pages to it, which I love because when I was looking through it, it seemed like just so much text. And I realized there's only 10 pages. And, who can't read 10 pages? So they have a glossary. They talk about Aeon, which is their unit of account, if you will. That is the token. They talk about the state channels. So the state channel is a relationship between two users recorded on the blockchain and enables users to send Aeon back and forth and to create trustless smart contracts between them that are enforced and settled by the blockchain. They talk about the oracles. They talk about hash locking governance, validator, and everything like that. So I really like that they put that glossary in there. that's really huge for people to be able to understand, what they're talking about in the earlier pages. So they have the Eternity ecosystem. It has the incubator foundation, adoption, education, establishment, and there it is, the aepps. We'll call it apps. Meetups and conferences, research and academia, partnerships. So they're trying to build a pretty robust ecosystem for the project to flourish. They have their roadmap. So it started in between Q1 and Q3 of 2017. So obviously that was when they did the development. Where they're at right now is they're getting ready for their main launch. It's coming up at the end of this month or either the beginning of June, I think is the end of this month. But the security audit was also in Q2. So as you can see, the roadmap's pretty short. I like that because some people go too in depth with the roadmap. They have plenty of use cases. So they have the distributed apps ecosystem, the crowdfunding projects, instant video game rewards, decentralized fintech, trustless exchanges, micro and nano payments. So those are all the different ways that the platform is going to be utilized via the AE token or the Aeon, if you will. Let's look at the team. Of course, as with most teams, I don't know anyone on here other than the top guy or the founder, if you will, Yanislav Malahav. And I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but he, interestingly enough, has been called the godfather of Ethereum. He might actually have given himself that name, I'm not sure. But he was involved in the beginning of Ethereum before it even had a name. So this is a picture of him and Vitalik Buterin in Barcelona. They've got a pretty good relationship. There's a very interesting chat conversation they had down below. You can check out this article. I'll put it in the video information so you can read it. But, he really knows what he's doing. So I really like how they put this on the website where they say, we are human. Because, a lot of these, they will put faces, but they actually put information about each one of their team. And they have a lot, as you can see. So they all have a bio. So they're going out of the way to show you guys that they are a real team of real people that care about this project. So there's social media. So they have Facebook, Twitter. Interestingly enough, their Twitter link on their website is broken. I have actually tweeted them about this now. Well, I say it's broken. We'll click on it now. It goes to their old Twitter handle. So you have to go manually to the new one. So I don't know why they just wouldn't make it on the website where it goes directly to where it's supposed to go to. So they do have a Facebook page. Their Facebook page, they have updates. One thing that is very rare on here, as opposed to many of the other ones I've looked at, is their Facebook and their Twitter actually post different information sometimes. Mostly they're tweeting or posting the exact same information on both. So I thought that was pretty cool. They give nuggets of information to basically both of those audiences. So here's their Twitter. They've got 20,000 followers, and I think that's pretty good considering the fact that they've had to change the Twitter handle. So the community was able to migrate over to the new one and still keep a strong following. So I like that. They have a lot of announcements. They're tweeting all the time. Super, super, super active social media. I really like that. Their Reddit page, or their subreddit, if you will, only has 2.7 thousand subscribers. But as we've seen with some of these other smaller communities on Reddit, there's a lot of engagement between all of them. So, some of these posts are getting, 15 upvotes. I've seen in other subreddits, that are much, much larger than this, things not even get upvoted at all, or maybe get 1 or 2 upvotes. So I think the Eternity community is pretty strong. And so we're going to look a little more into the website here. They have a frequently asked questions blog that you can get to from the website. And they talk about some of the different things, what the AE tokens can be used for. We've already talked about that as far as the use cases that's directly on the websites. Of course, we talked about the applications also when we talked about the use cases. So this is the part I really want to highlight on this page is what makes Eternity smart contracts special. And this is very important in my opinion because as I'm going to talk in kind of my conclusion here, it has to find some way to separate from Ethereum. It has to find some way to separate from some of the other platform-based cryptocurrencies. So manifold factors contribute to Eternity's uniqueness. One major advantage of Eternity smart contracts is the fact that they are created off-chain. This allows to, once created, to interact with other participating parties blazingly fast and has important privacy implications. The user's interactions stay off-chain and are kept secure. Only in cases of disagreement, a transaction will be submitted on-chain. The Eternity blockchain will function as a crypto court. Furthermore, there is no limit to the volume of smart contracts that can be processed per second, since Eternity smart contracts don't share state. They can be processed in parallel. In comparison to legacy Ethereum, we switch from being go-to based to more function based. Thus, it is a lot simpler to reason about and write more smart contract code. So that's very interesting. So the smart contracts are actually starting off of the chain, and that's where the smart contracts and the oracles come into play, and it doesn't go on the chain unless it needs to be, unless there's some kind of discrepancy. So we will look at the technology. The blockchain technology behind this, it uses industrial grade code base, blockchain networks, the AE tokens, state channels, scripting languages, oracles, names, aka DNS, accounts, and identity. So we've talked about the DNS with some of the other coins that are, or tokens that are also coming out with a naming service for kind of their wallets. So everything isn't just numbers and letters. So I think that's kind of cool. So you can read more about that. I'm going to put all these links down below so you can do your own research. Of course, this is only an overview video. Nothing on here is financial advice, and nothing here is meant for you to go and invest in immediately. You need to take what you learn here, do your own research, and then from there, do whatever you want, whether you invest or not. I don't have position in this. Even if I did, it's no sweat off my back if you do or don't invest in it. Okay, so what are my thoughts on Eternity? So as I reviewed a lot of other platform type coins and tokens, it just becomes more and more obvious that there has to be things that separate each one of these, or they're not going to make it. So at first glance, I kind of went into this thinking that what is Eternity offering that Neo or Ethereum or eventually EOS is not offering? So the unique thing that Eternity is doing is adding the privacy by having the smart contracts start off the chain. But if we were to dig a little bit deeper into this project and why I like it, I think I do like this project. I think it has a lot of potential. And one reason for that is because it has a strong community behind it. So right now, I think, even though it's ranked number 27 on CoinMarketCap, I don't think enough people know about this project. And I'm just going to give you something I've noticed with projects, is that if they are community driven, as this one is, where the community has a stake in it. I saw the same thing with Decred. There's a lot of other ones that also have community-based aspects to them. The coins and tokens that have community backing and community say and community stake, I think they have a potential to go further. Because once people are locked into that community, they don't want to leave it. They feel like they have a stake, like I said. And, when there's a bear run and, coins are falling, that community is really the only thing that keeps people in coins. I mean, think about it. Why, when something is falling, would you not jump out of it? The reason is because, number one, you believe in the technology, but number two, because you feel like you're part of the community. Like I've said many times, one of my favorites is ZRX. I'm heavily invested in ZRX. A large percentage of my portfolio is in that. And it went through a huge dip, and I'm not getting out of it. I consider myself part of the ZRX community, and I also consider myself a bag holder, and I believe in the technology. I believe it's going on Coinbase, and yada, yada, yada. And there's no reason for me to get out of it. So that's a huge advantage these community-based coins and tokens have, is the people involved in them feel like they have a bigger stake. So I think that's very interesting. I've gotten a lot of comments about Eternity throughout my time here on the channel. People have asked me to review it, and so I finally have gotten around to it. It is a project I like. I didn't put it on my top 10 coins set to moon during the next bull run, but it was one that I did consider. Someone said, why didn't you put Eternity on there? I said, well, it was just outside of it because I think it does have a lot of potential. Like, it never makes sense to me. Like, the Ripple community is so strong, and sometimes they can be kind of rude, just to be honest with you guys. But I don't understand, like, why would you be part of the Ripple community? What does it stand for? What stake do you have in it other than just to make money? Which is cool if that's what you're trying to do. But with Eternity, it's very community-based, and I like that. I think that might give it an edge. the smart contracts off the chain gives it a unique aspect. I think they try to be a little too unique by adding AE to the beginning of everything. I don't think that's probably necessary. I think at the end of the day, it's a little confusing. I understand what they're trying to do with the branding, but it's a little confusing. So that is one thing about this project that, I do wish they would change. I wish they would just go to the standardized language. I think they're almost trying a little too hard to be different. But overall, I give this project a thumbs up. I think it's pretty good. I think it does have enough uniqueness to separate it from some of the other big players in the space. So I do hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, share the video to whoever you want to share it to. Don't forget to enter our contest. Until next time, that was your Simplified Coin Review.